Bree, what's going on? How are you?
Hi, Kia. I'm so good. How are you?
Good, good. So thanks for doing this. As I
Thank
said,
you for having me.
I'm glad to have you on because I think, I don't know, it's just beginning of the year right now. You've kicked some major ass this past year, and I think a lot of people are where you are at right now, or where you are right where you were this time last year. That's where they are right now, and some of the things that you've kind of learned along the way, the strategies you've used, the results you've got can be kind of inspiration for them to take that step forward, or you kind of use that and your wisdom that you've learned to kind of get started on their own journey.
Yeah, for sure. And it's such a journey too. It really is. And thank you so much for having me on. And I am doing my best to stay with all of my good habits that you've taught me. And it really is an honor that you asked me to be a part of this because you have so many other clients that you're training. So the fact that you wanted me to come on and chat was really sweet. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're an important part of the community, and but yeah, everyone's on their own journey, So I think there is examples that can be shared from everyone that can resonate with, even if it's just one person watching, it'll just resonate with someone.
For
So
sure.
can you know, so what, we've been working together for like a year now, right? About
Right.
February will be a year. And
Exactly.
um, so can you tell me a little bit about what you were kind of struggling with before when we started, where you were at kind of before, and
Yeah, for
where
sure.
you're at now?
Okay, so for anyone that's watching, if you're on Kia's page, you know he's a personal trainer and he's fabulous. And my boyfriend was working with Kia before I started working with him. And I had kind of been in this phase for probably 4 or 5 years where I hadn't been very physically active. And I was just eating a lot, not tracking calories. I had no sense of measuring my food because when I was younger, I never needed to because I never gained weight. I do remember I had this memory flash into my brain earlier about when I was in high school, talk about creating bad habits. We would go to the local bakery and get these wagon wheel size cookies, like huge, like 6 inches across, and have that as a snack at break during high school. So I feel like growing up, I didn't create the best habits. And then after I graduated from college, when I was 22, 23 years old, I still had kind of these old habits of just eating whatever I wanted. And I wasn't as physically active as when I even was in college because I would take a lot of classes like Zumba or kickboxing and things like that. And my activity level just went way down and my consumption level stayed the same. So I gained about 40 pounds. And going from someone who is naturally muscular, but I still had a slender frame to someone that just ended up becoming overweight and carrying a lot of extra fat. It happened quicker than I even realized. And before I knew it, I was 40 pounds heavier. And I hadn't ever built the habits that would sustain me to be healthy for a long life. And I didn't have the knowledge of proper nutrition and working out and how to structure workouts that would give me results that would make my body look the way I wanted it to look. And not only in terms of looks, but in terms of feeling well and also being able to find healthy practices that will hopefully lead me to having a long, healthy life without disease. So that's kind of what Kia has brought to me, what you've brought to me, to my life, is this structure of knowing how to work out, knowing what exercises to do that are good for my body, including weight training and also cardio. And then what you've also taught me is nutrition and how to create habits around nutrition that can be sustainable for my life. And it's different for everyone because everyone has different weaknesses. For some people, maybe it's sugar. for some people, maybe it's starchy foods, or maybe for some people it's binging, or maybe some people don't eat enough and they're underweight. I don't have that problem. My problem's the opposite. So basically at this point, I'm actually down. Kia, I don't even know if you know this, but I'm actually down about 20 pounds from my original peak of being overweight.
I didn't know this. Congrats.
So, well, before we had met, I had lost about 8 pounds, but I had kind of hit this plateau of being stagnant because I didn't have a proper workout routine, and I still wasn't eating right. And so with you, I've lost about an extra 12 pounds. So I'm like total down 20 pounds, and I'm ready to keep going. And I'm just excited for what the future holds for me in terms of my body and feeling good. So ask me more questions, because I think I'll just keep tangenting
Awesome.
if you don't have me be specific.
No, well, I mean, the biggest thing, I think one of the most important things that really sticks out and what I wanted to kind of talk to you about was that the fact that you've like lost this weight over the past year, and you've
Yeah.
maintained it. You know, like this time of year, a lot of people, or any time, I guess January is just more of a, it's more common, but people are jumping into like the quick fixes and stuff, and you'll hear about people like losing weight, but it's really cool to talk to someone and see them actually maintain that weight loss. So I'm just curious what kind of strategies, because you've done I'm sure you've done other things before, but what are some strategies and things you've done that you've been able to use to move your weight loss and fitness in the right direction, actually maintain it there?
Yeah. Well, a lot of it's honestly what you've taught me. And I think a lot of what that is building habits and creating consistency with those habits and rituals. Because you can't lose weight, you can't attain any goal without consistency and without building a habit of working towards that goal. And the other day when we had talked, I had told you that I've been listening to a lot of Tony Robbins lately. And something that really stuck out in my mind that he said was, what is the standard that you're setting for your life? And so it goes both ways. You see it with people who are overweight, and you see it with people who are really in shape and look healthy and, seem to be at a place with their body that they're happy with. So with people who are overweight, the standard in their life is probably very different with people who are really in shape. The way that they eat, the standard by how they eat, the type of meals they eat, the amount of how they eat, that standard would be different for someone who's really in shape. And the same thing with working out. The standard for what we've talked about, Kia, like, well, this is just who I am now. I'm someone who goes to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. Like, that's just what I do. Yeah. That's the standard in my life. Whereas someone who, like I said before, my standard for working out was none. I had none. So now my standard is I am that person who gets 4 workouts in a week, whether, even if my schedule's shifting or I'm traveling or something, it's like, go on a walk. Maybe it's not, your regular routine, but it's getting in some sort of physical exercise. So you can keep that consistency and keep your habits in a place that will lead you to long-term success. So I think that's kind of been the main thing for me. And then also just really learning and gaining knowledge about what are the foods that are going to be really good for us. And then also in terms of exercising and what types of exercise that we should be doing to A, lose fat, B, build muscle mass, and also build that cardiovascular health as well, which I think is really important. So having a trainer, I think for a lot of people, I don't think people realize it, but I think having a trainer can be really crucial to creating and sustaining habits for a healthy life. And I recommend it to everyone. Everyone do it.
Thanks for the plug there. Yeah. I guess we all have coaches in some aspect. I mean, I always say this, I have like my therapist was my life coach. I think I have my business coach. I also have my own like personal trainer that I work with online. So it's like we all have coaches, and there's always some form of learning that we can get from someone. Let me just hop on here. I just want to see if there's any comments and questions. Not there yet. Okay, let me see. So you think are there any? Okay, so are there any like nuggets or any unique things that you're doing right now to keep you moving forward, consistent and motivated that that you can like, just share with people?
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of a nice time of year since it is New Year, so everyone's thinking about things that they want to improve or change in their lives. So for me, it's kind of just doing that regrouping because the holidays came and I for sure got off track with pretty much everything. But when you can just recheck in with yourself and ask yourself, what are the new goals that I have? What are the standards that I want to set in my life? You can start building up those habits again. So for me, it's like tracking my calories, getting my workouts in, eating foods that are generally more nutritious, like eating salad and veggies and things like that. So I think just trying to set the standard for myself again. I keep going back to that, but it's like coming back to center with what my long-term goals are and how I'm going to get there. So it's kind of just a refocus. And I think that anyone can refocus anytime. I mean, every day is a chance for anyone to say, wait a minute, am I on track or am I off track with what I've said for myself is a long-term goal? So I think for me, those special nuggets are coming with getting back on track or coming from just refocusing and knowing that I want to eat healthy. I want to feel good. I want to have a body that I'm proud of. So I think those are the nuggets is refocusing on really what your goals are and what you want your life to be.
Yeah, those last things are probably like I don't know. Everything you said has been helpful, but I think the last little bit was definitely like I guess the most important for people to really zone in on why the things that they're doing are important, like what's going to get them.
Yeah. And what does it mean for you? And even, we've had these talks too, like when I've lost my motivation, it's like, what is my why for doing this? What is my why for wanting to work with a trainer? What is my why for wanting to get in shape? Because it's not just about, oh, I want to look good in a bikini. It's about me wanting to really go Oprah style and live my best life. And living my best life isn't going to be me being 100 pounds overweight. So it is a process, though. It's a total journey, and everyone has their own things that are holding them back, whether it's in their environment, their living situation, or mentally, where they are mentally with kind of the beliefs they built around things. So I think another nugget, if I could add another one, is just finding that space for yourself mentally where you can really go for it and getting in that space mentally to decide you're going to live your best life is key.
Cool, because I was actually like that's the other thing I was curious about is if someone's watching this on like live or replay or whatever, they're they could be just starting on their fitness, a weight loss journey, and it might feel like this huge complicated task, which I mean, if you think about it, it might be depending on where you're at, but so they might not believe in themselves, so is there anything that you could tell them, in terms of how just taking that first step obviously requires a little bit of courage and like belief in yourself. Do you have any sort of advice on what got you to take that step, and like if you felt that before and how you kind of overcame that?
Yeah, well, I definitely just kind of had a sense of dissatisfaction with the way I was looking and feeling. Um, let's see, but in terms of really, I kind of had that motivation, like I don't want to look and feel this way. And so that really spurred me on to say, okay, what are the steps that I need to take? Um, let's see, but I think one of the things we've also talked about this is figuring out how to make it simple or easier for yourself to start. So, for example, if someone loves dancing, maybe they can incorporate that more into their life. Or if someone loves weight training, how can they figure out a weight training regimen that will be beneficial for their body and mind and be sustainable? Or what can they do in terms of nutrition to create better habits? Like, you could do something small, like, oh, I'm going to have one salad per day, or I'm going to start tracking my calories, or I'm going to make sure I get in X amount of veggies per day. So I think those things, whatever you can decide for yourself that is going to make being healthy easier for you, do those things. Don't even have the junk food in your house. If, knowing that chocolate in your cabinet is going to be a temptation, take it out of your house completely. So I think finding things that make it easier, buy more workout clothes.
That's good motivation for something,
Yeah, buy more workout clothes, because then maybe you'll think, oh, I have these workout clothes. Maybe I should put them on and go for a walk.
Yeah.
Make it easy for yourself.
So what was, so I mean, you were trying, when you were feeling stuck at that weight and you wasn't going down,
Yeah.
what were you doing differently than you are now that kind of got you moving? Like that, what was that? What were the strategies that you used that kind of got that needle moving forward finally?
So are you thinking of like before we started working
Yeah.
together?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you feeling like, oh, like I've kind of plateaued, I'm stuck there, I've lost that weight, but I can't move anymore. I go like lose anymore.
For me personally, I felt like I didn't have structure. And I didn't, and I personally am a person that needs structure, and I do well when I have guidance. And so I think for people trying to do it on their own, it can be hard because you definitely want to be doing it for yourself and you want to know your why for getting in shape and being healthy. But I do think it makes a difference to have someone to help you stay accountable and to help remind you of the goals you set for yourself in the first place. Because when it gets hard, working out so much, your body's sore and you're like, oh, I can't keep going. Or with eating, you're like, oh, I really just want that pizza. Yeah, maybe you can have that pizza, but then the next day go back to eating good again. Have that person, whether it's a trainer or a friend, someone who's really going to keep you accountable to remind you. And I think for me, it wasn't only the reminders, but having an actual structure, like here are your workouts that you can do for the week. Here is an idea of a food plan that you can create for yourself, and discussing options that you can have that's going to actually work into your life. So that's what I would say for that. Is for me, I was lacking structure and I didn't have anyone that I was working out with or someone to keep me accountable for working out. And now it's kind of like, okay, well, I know Kia is going to be like, you've been kind of MIA for a while. We need to get back on track with workouts or whatever. So I think the structure for a lot of people, if they don't have, hopefully people will comment and say, yeah, because I'm just doing it on my own. And, that maybe isn't working because I don't always know what to do, A, and B, I don't have to answer to anyone. So I don't have anyone keeping me accountable. That for me was a big thing. So, I'm going to have you as my trainer for as long as I can, even after I've met my goal weight.
I'm glad, but no, it's crazy. Like, people don't know, but I've known you for like the last 11 months now, and like the stuff that you're saying now, and the knowledge that you're just throwing out there, like night and day, like in terms of just like where your mind's at and like what you like, all the strategies that it's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, and it's everything that you've taught me will help me in terms of just my own knowledge to go forward in a successful way. I'll keep using you because I need you. And I'm not a trainer myself, so I need your knowledge base. But there are general things that now I know. Like I need to get my weight training in, and doing that weight training is good for your body, for leaning out fat and building muscle, and eating a certain way is going to get me the results I want. Those kinds of things I think are really important. I think a lot of people who are just trying to lose weight by themselves, they're missing out on having structure with somebody who really wants the best for them as well.
Well, I think it's just that, but I think, yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, it's the accountability part's huge in anything. Like, if it's
Yeah.
obviously, like, I'm personally not trying to lose weight, but I'm trying to advance in other parts of my life. And if I have an accountability partner, I mean, even like even support community of some sort can help.
Yeah.
Like our little tiny little community in our little corner.
Yeah. Oh, having a community is so nice because you're not alone, and there's at least people you can uh, kind of express yourself to. Oh, I've been having all these cravings. We can keep each other stronger, and motivate each other too, which I think is really helpful. Having a community is a great idea.
All right. Thanks so much. This has been like 20 minutes now, but is there any other parting thoughts that you'd like to share?
I just say, for anyone who's just getting started, dive in to your health and fitness journey. Make it as easy for yourself as you can, and make it fun for yourself. And if you can, work with a trainer, honestly, because they have the knowledge base to really help you figure out specifics on how you can tap into getting that body you want. It's much harder to do it alone. And there are people out there that, will be willing to work with you, and, maybe with your budget too. Everyone has a different budget, but, there's options. So I would definitely recommend getting help if you can, because it makes the journey easier and more structured, so that your chance for success is higher.
Thanks, Bree.
Thank you for having me.
So much more knowledge and information than I expected, and it's going to be so helpful for people watching this. So
I hope so.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
No, thank you, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, sounds good.
Later.
Bye.